The scene shifts to the classroom, where the girls are feeling anxious and blushing as they see Jin. They whisper among themselves, trying to muster the courage to approach him and ask him something, but everyone remains too shy to make a move. As Jin sits lost in thought, his phone rings. It's Daeun, letting him know that she can walk home by herself today and telling him to take a break and hang out with his friends. Jin is puzzled by the concept of hanging out and wonders how to go about it. Just then, one of his friends, Young-chan, pops up and greets him. As Young-chan sits down, he asks if he is busy today. Our boy remains silent, which prompts Young-chan to remember that Jin always walks his little sister home, so he must be busy after school. But not surprisingly, Jin tells his friend that he's actually free today. Young-chan's face lights up with happiness, and they plan to hang out after school. However, Young-chan's enthusiasm quickly fades when he hears an unpleasant voice. As the scene zooms out, we see these two beta bullies of the class step forward. They both reveal that they've heard the news and know that Jin is the reason Gisu Kim is moving abroad. Young-chan is totally shocked by the news, and the other students lounging around are equally caught off guard. The bullies spill the beans that even though Gisu and his sister were all set to move abroad, they're stuck now because their whole family's in hot water after the info leak. Our boy jumps in to set things straight, telling the bullies they've got it all wrong. But Jae-hyung chimes in, saying there's no need for modesty because everyone knows our boy trashed Gisu and his crew at their hideout a couple of days ago. Hyokjin backs him up, explaining that Jin took them all out by himself, and now everyone's saying Gisu is too embarrassed to show his face at school. He's itching to hear just how badly our boy must have beaten Gisu to make him leave the country altogether. Young-chan is finally convinced that Jin is actually a skilled fighter and that his performance that day wasn't just luck. Hyokjin leans in and says, now that they won't have to deal with that jerk anymore, he's itching to throw a party, so he invites our boy to celebrate after school today. Jae-hyung agrees, adding that they've been in the class for days without really spending time together, and he suggests they show our boy around the area. But our guy flatly turns them down, saying he already has plans for today. Naturally, the bullies are puzzled and ask what he's up to. With a pleasant smile, Jin replies that he's planning to hang out with Young-chan. That's when Jae-hyung starts creeping in with his disgusting grin, leaning toward Young-chan and saying he'll join their hangout. Hyokjin also leans closer to the terrified guy and expresses his desire to join in as well. After forcefully making Young-chan agree, they start to walk away, saying they'll meet up later. Our boy quickly asks his friend if he really wants to let these goons join in, and the poor guy stutters a positive response with a pale face. The teacher finally arrives in the classroom, and she's brought along two transfer students. One of them is a plain-looking guy, but the real standout is a stunning beauty with striking black hair. Young-chan's eyes immediately light up at the sight of her, and our boy quickly asks if he knows who they are. Young-chan explains that everyone knows this girl. She's Yeona Sin, and her grandpa owns SW Corporation, the biggest company in Korea. The guy next to her is Seokju Ko, and there are rumors that he's been with her since they were kids and is seen as her associate and bodyguard. The teacher notes that since everyone's familiar with these two, she won't waste time on introductions. She reveals that both of them have been studying in the US for the past 2 years and will be joining the class starting today. The beta lackeys don't seem too thrilled about these two newcomers in the classroom. With just Jin before, their chances to rule the classroom were slim to none, but now, with these two around, they're not so sure they can even think about bullying anyone. Meanwhile, Young-chan was curious about the 2 extra desks in the class, but it's clear now who they're for. He can't help but think Yeona looks even more stunning than he remembered. Even the students in the class can't keep their eyes off her. As Seokju behind the lady walks forward, he could not help but notice our boy, and their eyes lock for a moment. Yeona too can't resist but glances at him while she is walking past him. Once both of the newcomers take their seats, Seokju tells Yeona that our boy wasn't in the evaluation report he received a week ago, and he wants to double-check. Yeona is intrigued and glances at our boy once more, and we can tell she is clearly curious about him. Our boy notices Yeona glancing at him, and when he looks back, he finds her smiling. However, he just turns his gaze away again, which seems to irritate her since she didn't get a reciprocating smile. Meanwhile, Young-chan continues their conversation and asks if he has any particular place he wants to go. Jin says he's okay with anywhere, so Young-chan suggests hitting the game room. Well, it seems like the word gaming room triggers some memories for our boy, while his friends explain that it's nearby and just upgraded their PCs. That's when we flash back to the past, where we hear the authoritative tone of a senior telling a group of soldiers that they will begin today's portion of their practical life training program. He explains that there's one thing every Korean teenager must know, and that's the gaming room. This is the first time our boy has heard about the gaming room. The senior further explains that gaming rooms offer personal computers for a fee, and both students and adults can use them. Curious, our boy asks what people do there. The senior explains that while some users browse the internet or watch X-rated videos, most people are there to play games. For the average high school student, over 90% are playing some kind of computer game. The senior then introduces some of the most common games. First up is Legends of League, followed by Battle Royale. Back in the present, our boy reflects on how he can finally make use of the Major's intel. Meanwhile, Young-chan adds that they'll also grab some ramen at the game room and maybe check out Koinka afterward. Well, it seems like Koinka is yet another term our boy picked up during his military days while learning about practical life. The senior explains to him that high schoolers frequently visit coin karaoke, also known as Koinka. These establishments basically allow for sing-alongs with just a few coins. Major Kang tells our boy that he should prepare a few songs to sing in case he ends up going to one, and promises to send him a list of popular songs for kids his age to learn. As our guy starts brainstorming ideas and trying to remember some songs, his friend sits nervously nearby, wondering why Jin suddenly looks so serious. Once the bell rings, the students head out for the day, and that's when we see this hottie once again. And as usual, she is with her lackey. Apparently, they're discussing our boy, and discover that he transferred just a few days ago, is 18 years old, and happens to be Daeon Yu's older brother. Yona is surprised to learn that Daeon has a brother because she thought her only family was her grandpa. Seokju-ko agrees and explains that Daeon has been living with her paternal grandfather since her parents and brother died in a plane crash. Yona then asks how she still has a brother. Seokju-ko replies that it's hard to believe, but apparently, her deceased brother has suddenly come back to life just before they transferred to school. He suggests they should dig a little deeper into our boy's past.